I want to play for you a little bit of my asking Charlie about his craft, how he was singular in this country's history using technology the way he did to become part of a massive movement and a leader of a massive movement and such a close friend of the president, the vice president, so many people. I didn't know him particularly well. I was probably on his show a dozen times, and he was on my shows, I think, three or four times. But but I know what a great heart he had. So here's Charlie Kirk in a conversation on two-way. This is number three, please, talking about how he did what he did.
I want to talk to you about what you've built. When people ask you what your occupation is, what do you say? Like, what's on your
Well,
tax
first,
return?
yeah, I my tax return. That's a good question. I would best describe myself as an entrepreneur, which
Yeah.
I thank you for all the kind words, Mark, and some of that is earned and some of it is not. So thank you. It's just at right place, right time, honestly. And I would agree with one of your things. I have probably been underestimated by a lot of people
Yeah.
on the left and even on the right at times. And that's honestly been one of our greatest blessings because we've been able to fly under the radar and float under the radar for a while. And like, hey, we're kind of doing this college campus thing. And I know you think that we don't have much of a following. And I know you think that all the kids are going to remain liberal for a while, but that's fine. We're just going to keep on building. But as an entrepreneur, I try to find problems and fix them. People try to put me in boxes, and that's fine. That's normal. Human beings tend to do that. But I definitely wear several hats. I do a 2-hour program every single day that you're nice enough to join quite frequently. Our audience loves you, by the way, Mark. It's phenomenal, which gets turned into a podcast. It's on hundreds of radio stations across the country. It's simulcast on multiple television stations as well.
And just to be clear, for some people, that would be a full-time job, 2-hour daily show with that level of distribution. So that's one thing you do. Incredible. Keep going.
Yeah, and then on my day job, as I joke around, is CEO of Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action and Turning Point PAC, but that one only really gets deployed in short-term election cycles. But really, Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action, which I started will be 13 years ago in June, and well over 1,000 full-time people on staff now, all across the country, working in several different departments, from our high school department, our college department, our faith department. We have Blexit, and we have Turning Point Academy. We have our entire Turning Point Action side that is divided from our grassroots team, our ballot chasing team. We have a whole student government project. We have I would say, a pretty sophisticated digital operation on top of all of that. So I have to raise money and manage all of that. We have a great team that manages it. I actually don't manage very well. I would say I set a good vision and I'm able to set the pace, but I've really good managers that are able to make sure those goals are actually delivered upon.
So
that is not a skill set.
And that's over 1,000 people, right?
Correct. That's
and how much money annually was coursing through those various things?
Over 100 million. So about 100 to 120 million a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, probably as much as you delegate, also a full-time job.
That is a full-time job to raise that, without a doubt. And look, we're super blessed and very fortunate with over 400,000 donors that now give to us, which is a real number that is up there in nonprofit world. So in either liberal or conservative nonprofit world, to not be a campaign and to be able to have more than 250,000 active donors, that's a big number. And so,
and how many of those are small? I'm sorry to interrupt, but how many of those are small dollar versus big?
Yeah. So obviously, look, we have plenty of wealthy people that give us money. Obviously, that's not, breaking news, but the average donation is right around $105, and that's averaging for all the donations that we get.
And what do your biggest donors give you? Millions?
Yes. I mean, I would say the biggest donor would probably give $1 million to $2 million a year, right around there. Yeah. And so again, like Foster Freeze, you covered him, I'm sure, Mark, for years. He was our original donor, and he used to give us, challenge grants. At one time, he gave us a big gift of $5 million if we could raise it, and we were really blessed by that. And that was kind of that seed funding that helped us get started. But we did not get that gift until like 10 years in, just to give perspective, 8 to 10 years in. So, but no, we have a small dollar grassroots army that is also a backbone of a lot of what we do, and that doesn't always get into the coverage of us because there is a caricature that we're just kind of small, clubby, billionaire funded. And again, full disclosure, of course, we raise money from all people. You have to in this space, but we also have a lot of grassroots energy. And so on top of that, I also create a lot of content. And I speak. Yesterday I did 5.5 hours of speaking on campus at Texas A&M University, on top of doing the show and on top of raising money. And so we post those videos online. And the last couple of years, they've really gone super viral and making a big difference with young folks. So I try to keep myself busy.
To be his age, young man, have the success he had at the highest levels of American politics, media, activism, to have the servant's heart he died with, to be so humble. And often when I was on his show, I would compliment him because I was so impressed by what he'd accomplished. And he'd always feign modesty and be genuinely modest because he was so in awe of what he'd already accomplished, so humbled by it. He loved two-way. I have to tell you, for those who are proud to be part of this community, loved it. And I'd go on his show, in part because he loved two-way, and he would talk about watching two-way. And he loved it for all the reasons I love it. Loved hearing voices from all over America. Loved how this was new and open, and anyone can come on and raise their hand and talk. And from questions and comments, he learned so much. And he would always praise, whenever I talked to him, texted with him, always praise this. I wish we'd had him on more. He's a hard guy to book. Was a hard guy to book. Here's Charlie talking to a member of the community. This is number 5, please.
Start with Nilda. Go ahead, please.
Hi. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I've been following Charlie for a long time. Very excited, very happy to be in this chat with you. Here from California, asking.
How are you?
I am happy to be chatting with you. Very excited. I remember the election night of 2020. I was sobbing on my couch with you on TV, watching what was happening, and here we are. And now after Hilton trying to come out for governor here in California, what can we do here for a beautiful state? Charlie, you know how to.
Well, thank you. God bless you.
Great question. And just to frame it a little bit, California used to elect Republican governors. And except for Schwarzenegger, who was a bit of an anomaly, it's been a while. So do you think much about how to build a Republican Party in California, and what are the elements of that?
I think that it can be done in the next 10 years. And I know people might laugh, but listen, first of all, that's why I endorse Steve Hilton. I think that the chance of him winning this cycle might not be the best odds, but getting closer and closer to that is incredibly important. But if Hispanics, and especially Hispanic men, keep on moving in the direction that they have been moving nationally, California can be in play. I know over a long period of time, it requires voter registration, it requires no more demoralization. And finally, if young people continue to move in the broad way that we've seen, and California even minorly follows that trend, we could probably see some more a more competitive landscape in California. So I endorse Steve Hilton, and I wish him the best of luck and success.
All right, Nija, thank you. Nilda, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it.
I know we're in a breaking news situation, but I've been really struck by how cable news is not really showing very much of Charlie. And so I thought amongst the things we should do is to hear him. No, he was a singular person, and I want the country to come together around this, and that's always said in tragedy, but I've just heard so much negativity already. And I'm committed to doing what I can on all my platforms to try to use this as an opportunity to bring the country together. I don't know, how you all break down. Some of you probably close students and fans. Maybe your kids were big fans, and one thing should be commented on more. But so many people, including Gavin Newsom, had kids who knew Charlie, liked Charlie, followed him. Even if they weren't necessarily conservative, he just was a visible, known personage for younger people who had no other connection necessary to politics. Some of you may only be hazily familiar with what he did and who he was. And I feel so bad for his family, of course, and for his friends. But I feel so bad for the country to lose truly one of the most exceptional leaders we had. And I hope that people on the left who don't like what he stood for and can go on ChatGPT or Google and create a list of things that he said that were incendiary. I hope you can appreciate the loss that so many are feeling, including, again, the president and the vice president. The president is not someone necessarily who expresses a lot of feelings, openly. And that's true of a lot of people in this administration. They genuinely love Charlie, genuinely. And the memorials that would be built to him, and the programs that will be set up, and the funeral speeches, they'll all be a reflection of how important he was to them personally as well as politically. But there's no way to actually grieve for him appropriately under the circumstances anytime soon. But all I'm asking is for all of you to, those of you on the right, to not use this as an opportunity to destroy the left. That's all I'm asking, really. It's not the right thing to do for his memory. Our sponsor, again, tonight, our good friends at Cozy Earth. And what's great about them is great stuff. You've heard me talk about before. The bedding's great. The shirts are great. But you also hear me talk quite a bit about the pants. And we got a letter this morning I read on the morning meeting from a guy, a famous viewer of the morning meeting, who said he can't get enough of the pants. And he doesn't like buying clothes, hates clothes, he said. I don't know if he's a nudist, but he said he hates clothes. But he says his wife says he looks great in the pants. Here's the thing about these pants and why I recommend you buy them. You got your drawer with all your pants, maybe a shelf, maybe a drawer, wherever you keep your pants. These pants, you go over like Jerry Seinfeld, his favorite t-shirt. All I do, I got about 6 pairs of pants that fit me. I just take these every time. These are the kind of pants you take them every time. So if you need a good pair of pants, you need your like go-to pants. A man, woman, a child, go to cozyearth.com, buy them. 40% off. Use the code TWOWAY for 40% off at cozyearth.com. Built for real life, made to keep up with yours. Cozy Earth, telling you, buy the pants. That was a delicious video experience. I think you'll agree. Now, what you need to do in return for getting to enjoy that is hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a thing.